Hi there. Usually, when you have things that you must do, you find resistance and perhaps you become unable to do them because it's easier to find alternatives, it's easier to procrastinate, and you always find yourself slipping away doing different things or not focusing on the task that perhaps you have to do. And that is the case, especially with things that may not be simple, things that might require you to leave your comfort zone, do something creative, something that perhaps is, how do I say this, unusual, something that is innovative and novel. Now, it's good to experiment with different methods. It's good to practice and just ballpark. I'm not even sure if ballpark is the right term for it. In fact, I'll Google it right now. Define ballpark. I'm not sure if that term defines it exactly. An area or range within which an amount of estimation is likely to be correct. Yes, so ballpark is the right term for it. So sometimes you have to practice, to try, even if you do it badly. You have to put yourself out there, make attempts, and align yourself with how things are going for you. I get how difficult life can be, especially when you feel as if you're stuck in place and lost at the same time. You don't know why you keep going sometimes. You feel as if you're just rolling with it even though you don't feel like getting out of bed. You feel as if it's all pointless, or you feel as if your life is slipping away. You're getting older, you're getting more lost, and you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know how to save yourself or how to even ask to be saved, because there's nothing you can do about it. And it's easier to stay within the confinement of what is described as safe, what everyone else has already agreed upon to be the safe, acceptable method. Do the usual. Do what everyone else is doing. Stay in your lane and practice what you're told to do. Now, by no stretch of the imagination is this a call for rebellion, but sometimes you want to hear your worries and your inner thoughts voiced out. And even if voicing them out does not particularly bring out a solution, it just puts it out there. It allows it to be heard. And look, I get it. A lot of things that you grew up knowing and expecting and thinking the world is going to be turn out to be not only inaccurate, they turn out to be small and feel like confinement, and you feel as if something within you is stuck in a smaller outer thing. So sometimes attempting to get yourself out of the usual feels taxing, it feels difficult, it feels as if you're exerting all your energy yet getting nothing out of it. It's as if you, and I'll use a metaphor here, it's as if you put in the effort of 100 hours only for the result to be $1 or 5 likes on social media. It's as if you go out and put yourself out there and you shout with all your might and speak elegantly with all your capacity to express, only to be received with indifference and ridicule, and you would get told, hey, that's unnecessary, go back, you're being stupid. And you are faced with misunderstanding and indifference. So, what the hell? It's as if you are in the wrong environment, the wrong surroundings. Even though we have the internet, you can connect with like-minded people from all over the world, people who are similar to you, people who can care for you, and people who are capable of understanding you. But it isn't as easy or as simple as that, because this turmoil and this state of feeling stuck, it's within you, and it's so difficult to put it out there. It's as if there's a very sensitive wound and you're peeling it out and expose it to all sorts of bad things that would hurt it, things that would cause it to feel so much pain. So you cover it back up, even though the wound is there. It's not healing, it's just being numb, and you continue moving on. Sometimes you forget about that wound. Sometimes you try to get absorbed by your surroundings, and you think, hey, maybe in the future I'll get the chance to find a remedy. Maybe in the future I'll be able to travel for a few days, and during those few days I'll be able to expose that wound, and it will be faced with healing and some kind of, I don't want to say medication, because medication is the wrong terminology in this case, with some kind of thing that recovers it completely, and so there will be no wound no more. But maybe when you go back after those few days or that temporary period of time, the wound festers again, and you cave in again, and you become smaller and start this march and this grind all over again, where you're curved down and you're stuck and you're hiding and you're pretending, and this isn't you, this isn't how you are. So the question is, even though I've mentioned that this is perhaps a problem, the question is, what is the solution? What can remedy this? And I think there are a lot of ways to deal with it. None of them, or maybe some of them, are not easy, and they have a variety of difficulties, where some of them are very difficult while others are demanding but not too difficult, and others are exhausting while others make you feel exposed, and it's as if you feel you're in danger. Not technically danger, just there's a sense of fear that you would be put on if you go and try those. So what are they? One of them would be to speak the truth and to voice out your thoughts as much as you can. Another would be to gauge out those around you by exchanging ideas, by speaking up, by voicing out. It's as if you're throwing bait or hints that, hey, do you ever feel this way? Hey, do you think like this? What if this thought, and you exchange them and you speak up, and perhaps by doing that there will be reciprocation. Again, let me Google that word. I'm not sure if it is a word. I know reciprocate is a word. Define reciprocation. I'm not sure if it's a word, but we will find out. Yes, it is. Reciprocation, a return in kind or of like value. So yeah, perhaps when you do that there will be reciprocation, and people will allow you to build up something. You meet people who understand you, you exchange ideas, the circle grows, and something good comes out of it. Something warm and caring and nourishing. I would even describe it as a warm environment where there's sun, there's good soil, and greenery, and healthy things grow in it, within it. And most of those things, obviously, not all of them, just some of them actually, are within you, and some of them are around you. So another thing, or another attempt, is to build an environment yourself, similar to this podcast, this video. I'm building it. There is no specific environment, and perhaps this will attract those who feel the same way, or who understand this kind of content. And then there's a platform that can be built around it. So these attempts, they aren't always guaranteed to succeed. Sometimes they only grow in a small size. But even though it isn't growing in a grandiose way, it isn't grown to millions of people or even thousands, maybe just a few people, maybe even 10 people get to see this, get to understand it, get to relate to it, and it attracts those who are able to heal from it, learn from it, or implement it. Then it's serving a purpose. Now, I know I'm using this video as an example, or my channel as an example, but it can be anything else. You can, let's say since I'm holding a pen, you can, let's say, do a few drawings, and you go to a cafe and you ask them if you can display them the same way I'm displaying those artworks behind me. And then people will be attracted to the art. A few artists will come along and be like, hey, I do that too. I don't have anyone to share it with. And, you inspired them, and you get to know them, and something good comes out of it. You're not guaranteed success. Maybe people will come to that cafe and judge your artwork and tell you it's not good, the anatomy is bad, you're not as good as this artist and that artist. Maybe even you get accused of copying certain styles, which, if you're inspired by others, that's good. If you're really stealing from others, it comes out, but I digress. Now, a third method would be to venture out and go on an adventure and try to explore. Now, exploration can be physical, it can be mental. By mental, I mean by reading, by writing, by drawing. Now, those border between the physical and the mental. Let's say I'm using mental as an alternative to psychological, metaphysical. Does metaphysical apply here? Let's find out. Metaphysics, the branch of philosophy that deals with the first principle of things, including abstract concepts. So yes, metaphysical as well, and see how it goes. Perhaps your adventure will yield treasures. It will yield new companionships. You might discover new places. Now, not discover new places as in go to a city that no one else has been to before, but discover new places as far as you know. And perhaps discover new places that don't exist in the real world, but exist in metaphysics. Let's say you record a new video, you do a new drawing, you write a new piece. Now, what you are drawing didn't exist before you drew it. What you are writing didn't exist before you wrote it. And so you go out on a venture, or several ventures that can be linked to each other, and you grow through that experience. It isn't just, hey, I'm this person, unchanging, and I'm gonna go somewhere new and discover something new. No, you as a person, you grow, you develop, you nourish, flowers come out of you. And again, not physical flowers, unless you want to wear something. And you grow and you learn and you develop and you become capable of becoming something new, acting in a new way, speaking in a developed way. Certainly that is one of the benefits of being literate, of reading. You become able to articulate your thoughts, to speak more clearly. You become able to read and write and express your thoughts in a more articulate manner. So go out there and try to connect. And a fourth way is allowing yourself to be exposed and embracing that exposure. Now, to be exposed is not to be weak. Sometimes you hear them say it's okay to be weak, which that's another matter. I'm not gonna discuss it because I haven't formed a thought about whether or not it's okay to be weak, but it's okay to be vulnerable. Perhaps it's necessary sometimes. Vulnerability does not equal weakness. You are not weak when you are vulnerable, but you are courageous when you are vulnerable. So by being vulnerable, you allow yourself to be true to who you are. You allow yourself to put yourself out there and to grow through that experience, because by being vulnerable, something intrinsic happens when you are vulnerable. You express yourself more truthfully, more genuinely. You interact with the world in a way that is so true and so honest and so pure, and somehow you grow into someone more impressive, someone more fascinating, someone or something that resembles a masterpiece, a living masterpiece. So I guess that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And tell me what you think. And yeah, I learn as I go with this content, with creating this. And I hope to keep getting better and to keep creating better content. So thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful and useful. And yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you next time.